So, you're thinking of moving to NDG. Great choice. I went there for high school back in the 90s and I never left since. Some of the things about NDG that I can definitely say, it is about 10 minutes from the downtown core by car and about 20 to 30 minutes by walking or public transit. It is a very evenly mixed Anglophone and Francophone borough. You have some incredible merchants in the NDG area. It's known to be an eclectic kind of collective of all kinds of artists and chefs and urbanites that have forged their way into the culture of what NDG is, from skateboarding to elegance to really great food. You have a lot of suggestions to entertain if you're living in this superb community. Some of the downfalls of NDG could be the following. If you love dogs, or sorry, if you do not like dogs, then NDG might not be the place for you. It's very dog friendly, tons of dog parks, and everywhere you go, people have their dogs on a leash walking around the community. Another thing for NDG, you're going to have to deal with winter parking. There's not a lot of places that have garages. So there's either private parking in the back of some of the ruelles, which are alleyways throughout the area. Otherwise, you're on the streets, and there is a lot of street cleaning that go on between the months of December to March. As you know, we live in the Arctic. What else can I tell you about NDG? It's fine dining at its best. There's at least 20 restaurants that I love that I could name off the top of my head, from the Monkland Tavern to the original Lucille's. The original Lucille's was on Monkland Street, all the way to Typhoon Lounge, some of the cool spots. There's La Louisiane. There is also Melrose Pizzeria. The list goes on and on. The other thing, too, is that the proximity to the city is a big deal for a lot of people. You want to be in the city, but you don't want to be in the city. This is where I find NDG really breaks down as your next best option. Another thing to know about NDG is that you're moving into a community that is known to have a lot of duplexes and treeplexes. So less new build of condos. The ones that are newer built have beautiful terraces, but they don't have giant amenities like pools and garages and things like that. So when you're moving to NDG, most people are looking more for either a duplex or to co-locataire with like an upper and lower duplex situation. So that's pretty unique to the area as well, as it is Montreal. People ask all about schools all the time, and NDG hosts some of the best schools in the city, from Loyola High School to LCC to many other public schools that are awesome, both French and English. So it's also known as a community that is surrounded by kids and playgrounds and parks. It's super family friendly, and this is why a lot of people kind of flock to it, not just for the homes, but for the community around it, where they feel supported in the sports, the activities, the extracurriculars, the services, the vibe. It's a real vibe to live in NDG. It's up there with, one of the original top communities that gentrified earlier on in the 90s. And then you saw communities like St. Henry or the Sud-West or Verdun kind of in the same process over the last 5 to 10 years, whereas NDG had started that gentrification much longer ago. Some of the main areas of NDG can be very different. You get all sort of social and economic classes and cultures living in one area. So from one area of NDG, you can end up having starter houses or starter condos, I should say, that range between 400 to 600,000, and then you can get up into luxury areas that would have a higher price point just based on if they're on Sherbrooke Street West or if they're on Monkland Avenue, and those can range anywhere from 600 to 800,000 on the regular basis if you're looking for a 2-bedroom with a garage or something like that. Another kind of price range to expect if you're moving into NDG, duplexes will range anywhere, if it's a full duplex, from 600 to 1.5 million. If it's a fixer-upper or something that's been nicely renovated recently, Then there's a unique factor that Desjardins and Banque Nationale can help you get a mortgage for, where you can actually split a duplex into either an undivided or divided separate floors and turn that into condos within the duplex and have separate co-ownership, where instead of like 100 people in a building, you've got 2 people co-owning an actual property like a duplex or a triplex or something like that. Of all the neighborhoods downtown, I would definitely say that you could consider Notre-Dame-de-Grâce one of the more Anglophone-oriented neighborhoods as well. So that's a pro for Anglophones who are looking for a local community. Where it is kind of uniquely sandwiched between all kinds of great boroughs. So if you take Sherbrooke Street right through the city, from the east end to the most western point, you would be in NDG. And so you've got Montreal, Westmount, next to Westmount. If you want to live in Westmount adjacent, that's NDG. So Westmount, NDG, Montreal West. And then above it, you've got Côte Saint-Luc. And below it, you have all kinds of variations ranging from Verdun to kind of like the Sud-West and some of those neighborhoods. So it's really, really well located. You know, real estate is location, location, location. That's why you also see higher price points in Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, because it is so close as a very, very family-oriented community borough. We see that area continuing to grow in its price points, and we'll see that in the coming years as prices continue to go up in the city. Whatever's the closest to the city core naturally goes up in value before you get further away from that core. So I was born and raised in the West Island, and then I took a train downtown for school every day to a place called Loyola High School, which was in the heart of NDG on West Broadway and Sherbrooke next to the Concordia Loyola campus. And I pretty much haven't left NDG ever since. I was enthralled by how the kids downtown were all, you know, wearing Van shoes and riding skateboards to school, and they were allowed to take the bus downtown. Like I wasn't even allowed to take the bus to Fairview. So I live in NDG. I've had multiple businesses in NDG. The last 10 years, I've ran the Monkland Street Festivals with partners on NDG. It is where not only do I live, but it's where I love the most in Montreal for so many reasons. Let me count the ways. Living in NDG for me is very important because there's a real sense of community there. I can get up in the morning, take a walk down Monkland, grab a coffee, talk to friends, do my shopping. You know, if I need to bring clients for lunch, there's plenty of places. And it's just a place that I can feel safe with my family and with my friends, and always right close by to Montreal's nightlife just next door. If you want to know more real estate about NDG, click the links below, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll always bring you the freshest tips on NDG living.